Welcome to Objections with Stan Willis. I'm Michael Morris. With me is a friend of Stan Willis, C. Stanley Willis. How are you?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I want to talk about something because I'm hungry. You might be hungry.
So we'll go to Louis after this.
42 million people are starving.
Probably at least.
We're not going to fix it. But you know who is going to fix it? Elon Musk.
Is he?
Well, sort of.
If anybody can.
So the world, some stupid ass organization, I can't remember the name of it, went on CNN because it wasn't good enough to just put it on Twitter and be ignored. Went on CNN, and this Southern belle of a fella, he says, I'd just love to have a meeting with Elon Musk if we can get $6 billion. And then he says he just made $36 billion with a deal with Hertz. They ordered a bunch of electric cars.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Yeah, and so he says, if we could just get this
Everybody
one time.
needs a Tesla, honestly.
Actually, I want to get a Tesla, but I can't afford a $40,000 commuter car.
Sure you can.
I don't make that kind of money.
Sure you can.
You know what's funny is I asked a couple.
You got money for you. You forgot you had.
Well, I was going to ask you for a loan, so I asked the girl at the front desk how much money you made, and she said a lot. So I'm assuming that's over $32,000 adjusted for gross.
Almost 40.
You're doing really well.
I am.
So
I earn every penny.
So when you go home to that palatial estate, I assume it's more than 1,200 square feet. Like you're doing well. Yeah. Well, I call it an estate. Like if you come by my house, I'll never answer the door, but I call it my estate.
I have a fenced-in backyard where the dogs can run around. Although I'm kind of pissed, they're digging up like the flowers. It's annoying as heck. I'm like,
do you think that they just don't like those kind of flowers? Have you ever questioned their feelings, or are you just selfish?
They're just dogs, and they're acting like dogs.
Okay, well,
and dogs dig things up because that's what dogs.
You know who you're killing? The Humane Society loves the show.
Snoopy sleeps upside down on top of his doghouse.
Well, he's also a pilot, so he probably likes to look at the sky.
He is a pilot. He is, and his best friend's a bird. It's weird.
Who's your best friend? Now that we're talking about it, thank you. It's me,
Nate.
The only reason you say that is because Nate can't come in front of the camera and defend the fact that you're lying. So what in the hell was that? Oh, Elon Musk. So Elon Musk, they asked him.
Nate won't make me look as stupid as you do.
Have you ever noticed that all the edits are just on me on this show? Every edit makes me look like I don't know what I'm doing.
That's because every time I see Nate, I give him a hug and reassure him.
You know why I don't like hugging him? He likes to hug a little too close in the front. And it wouldn't be bad if we just shoulder to shoulder, but it wouldn't. You're pressing meat. It ain't good. So, and I only learned that because I was a Boy Scout. So, sorry, I was a Boy Scout leader. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I just like to look through the magazine. So, Elon Musk, they ask him for $6 billion, and that will feed 42 million people.
Really? For how long?
One time for the year. So that's $6 billion will only cover through December. There's 42 million people they said that are close to starvation.
So the solution is $6 billion every month?
Well, no, because
it doesn't sound like a solution.
So they already have $8.4 billion. They get that annually already. Here's the part that I find odd. They didn't say Bezos or if we could get money from, Hunter Biden's got to be worth a couple $1 million. They don't ask for that. They ask for.
He has a lot of expensive habits.
Art. Paintbrushes aren't cheap.
Computers.
Could you imagine if you lost like 7 laptops? First of all, if anybody finds my laptop from 2004, don't open that because it's going to ruin your life.
If I lost a laptop, my partners would probably fire me.
Listen, I keep hacking into other people's laptops. And I just to transfer them to my phone, but I don't take them.
You're a freaking computer whiz.
I'm hacking. I'm just guessing their password.
Somewhere, somebody in the Fed or some Fed is looking at this and they're going, he said he's a hacker, and the other ones are going, are you kidding me?
I would like if anybody knows
not
how to do that.
Not wasting my time on that.
How long could it take to learn to be a hacker? 2-3 minutes?
Okay.
I'm just saying I could do it. So your opinion is that, do you think it's fair that
Are you talking about like a hacker that like chops wood?
No, I mean one of those people that just smokes a lot. When they're 81, they're just saying racist things and spitting off their porch. That's a hacker.
I think that takes at least a couple of minutes to learn.
That's actually the mayor of Grove City.
There you go.
Shout out to you, IQ piece of anyway. So, do you think it's fair to just say to one guy, "Hey, we need a check from you"? I think
it's kind of rude, actually.
But you're doing it on CNN.
Yeah.
It's not like you asked and then local.
Well, if they're on CNN, they should just ask Ted Turner for it. I mean, he can afford it.
I don't know if he has that money. That Ted's Montana Grill. He took a bath on that restaurant.
Well, yeah, but he had billions. He could afford to lose.
Well, why not Bezos? Bezos owns grocery stores.
Yeah, but
Elon owns flamethrowers.
Bezos is busy. He's a busy guy.
I like that they're both going into space and people are criticizing that. I think it's because you're jealous because you're a jerk off and nobody wants to send you.
William Shatner went into space. Everybody thought it was cool.
For the second time. Remember, he used to work up there.
He did. I remember the show.
Yeah. He lost his best friend.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Leonard Nimoy?
Who? You mean Commander Spock?
Mr. Spock.
Okay. Don't have this debate.
Spock.
He was a commander, wasn't he? Nate, don't look at me like you don't know. He doesn't know. Look at you guys. I'm the only one that has any real business knowledge in here.
You are the king of Star Trek. I'll give you that.
I don't understand why.
Do you like the new Captain Kirk as much as you like William
Chris
Shatner?
Pine?
Yeah. Do you like him as good as much as you did? Jim.
I have this conversation.
William Shatner. Shatner.
Well, me and Billy Film School over here. My problem when we're talking about this, every movie that J.J. Abrams is in, everyone's full on sprinting constantly. Okay, so in the original Star Trek, nobody was run. They were negotiating. They were asking questions. It was like there was hardly any action.
There's a lot more gunplay.
Yes, but it was gunplay is great. Hollywood loves gunplay, by the way. And if I was Alec Baldwin,
don't even say it.
I was just gonna say, I'm a big fan of all his work now.
Yeah,
I did see that people are editing GIFs of weapons in his hands. So when he's on the phone, it's like a gun and all that stuff. I love what the internet is.
Yeah, it's a cesspool. All right.
Well, you really took it there. Oh, you know what? Speaking of cesspool, your feelings on Meta. Because it all goes back. Nobody asked Zuckerberg for any money.
So remembering that I'm an old guy, I just prefer human contact. And
more of a Tinder guy, huh?
I'm not a big fan of putting my
Please finish before I have to.
putting my space goggles on and getting my beer from the fridge and meeting everybody in some bar that's in some virtual world and having some virtual poker and drinking real beer in my kitchen table.
It's sad that that's where we're going because kids today will never know what it's like to really meet somebody, get chlamydia from them, and then lose their number on a piece of paper. Mm-hmm. That's what real life's about. And I think that we're missing out on that because this virtual world is taking over. I just worry our kids are never going to get off the couch. Well, not our kids.
My kids are already off the couch, but
my daughter's in rehab. Thanks for asking.
Your daughter's not in rehab.
She will be eventually.
She is with a father like you. She actually should be in counseling of some kind.
That is true. Well, I just meant she's going to have to meet me over there to pick me up.
Middle note. This is writing down. I need to get your daughter a counselor.
I
can recommend several people.
I told many people I'm a counselor.
Yeah, you just tell people you're a lawyer, doctor. You're like
whatever they need.
You're like a jack off all trades.
What I appreciate is that people come to me for advice, and my advice is always I don't think about it. I just shoot from the hip, and I'm like, you should shoot them, and then I don't follow up to see how it's going. But it's like if it works out, it works out.
I'm sure it's all genius.
But my curiosity was, as you said, as an older fella, I'm not that young either. I look amazing. But are you going to get off of Facebook because of the brand identity or you don't like where it's going?
I just don't like the direction. I don't really, I'm not very active on Facebook. Anyway, my wife gets on and communicates with some people in the family and stuff like that. But I'm not a virtual kind of guy.
I'm not either. I don't want that in my life.
I don't know how. I mean, I've never tasted virtual beer. I like the taste of regular beer. I've never tasted, virtual steak. Real steak tastes a lot better.
I don't quite understand what that's all about.
I don't like Zoom meetings. I only do them if it's impossible to do a face-to-face meeting.
Do you do them like Jeffrey Toobin?
No, I don't do that.
I mean, who does a Zoom call and then starts pounding off before you shut off?
As if they didn't know. I mean, so much of this stuff is just people doing shit. To remember Hugh Grant?
Yeah,
you remember after?
Yeah,
that?
And what was her name?
He got busted in picking up a hooker.
He was dating Elizabeth Hurley at the time,
right? And he's like, "Oh, I'm so shocked you caught me."
Is that worse than Eddie Murphy picking up the tranny and insisting he was just trying to give her a ride home?
No, that's not really worse.
I like when people were like, his career just disappeared. It's because he was on the cover of the New York Post with Lawrence Taylor in a dress.
Best thing ever. Drew Carey. You remember Drew Carey when he had the Drew Carey show? So when he was early on in his career, he was in New Orleans, and somebody got video of him paying some girl to show her breasts because it was Mardi Gras. And he had beads to share, right? So they have video of this, right? And it's going to be a big scandal. And somebody from like Entertainment Tonight, I forget who it was, they thought they had him. they're like going through their interview, and it's very innocuous. And then all of a sudden, they're going to pounce on him. So there's video, we're going to show it now, of you paying a girl to show her breasts during Mardi Gras. And Drew Carey says, "Yeah, best $800 I ever spent." Dead.
That's
it's
good
over.
Question.
It's gone.
How much would you pay
no
for
controversy.
That? You're not a celebrity, so you're just a normal person.
I wouldn't pay $800.
I'm going to go $25.
I would pay $800 to see Nate's breasts.
For $10, I got one on my phone. It don't matter. I'm just saying that when I think about celebrities, do you know what a fixer is, right?
Yes.
And the Hollywood fixer.
Yeah.
Nate would probably know these stories too. But it was like they would always have somebody, their job was to kind of put out a fire before it hit the newspapers and all that. That's what LA Confidential, the movie, is about.
See, Drew Carey didn't need a fixer. He just was like, I don't care.
But at what point?
It takes me back to the whole cancel culture thing that we were talking about before we started all this. I was watching an interview with, I think it was Zuby. It might have been Ted Nugent, but I think it was Zuby. And they were asked, well, what do you do about cancel culture? And he goes, can't cancel me. Just refuse to be canceled.
Why are people so afraid of being canceled?
I don't know. I mean, I don't worry about cancel culture because it's not like our viewership's going to get any lower.
No. There's like an invalid right now that doesn't know how to shut off YouTube and has been watching this for 3 hours on a loop.
Sorry, dude.
How do you know it's a dude? It could be some woman with a wooden leg that just wants to see this content.
Sorry, human.
Schmim. The Drew Carey thing I always think is funny because why is that a scandal? If he was doing that and giving the money to RuPaul, that's a scandal.
It's a scandal if you're embarrassed about it and you apologize.
But if you were famous, would anything ever bother? Nothing would ever bother. I wouldn't care.
But that's the thing. What happens is they get all over somebody about something, and then those people come on and they have some apology. And then they're dead because, they've just admitted you control me. So what you have to say controls me. And so, submitting to the cancel culture is how you get stuck by the cancel culture.
But and
it's kind of interesting. I mean, you look at people like Chrissy Teigen. I mean, she didn't see that coming, did she? I mean, she's one of the cancel culture people, and all of a sudden she got canceled.
But she's begging to be on, she's literally begging, can I please be on? And I'm like, first of all, you're talentless. You were on the magazine cover one time and you married John Legend. So
she's married to John Legend.
That's what I mean. But she wasn't a talent. She got on those shows because she was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and she was married to, he is like a Lionel Richie, but I don't mean when he was hot. I mean like in 1997. Like he's on that level where you'd forget who John Legend was if they weren't at every award show. I mean,
they don't. But here's the thing: why submit to being canceled? Why pretend like you've been canceled? Who cares?
That's what I don't get.
I mean, it's Pierce Morgan got up and walked out in the middle of his show, and I don't agree with a bunch of what Pierce Morgan has to say, but that took some stones,
But that's how he got that job.
Right.
Was not giving a rip what anybody said about him.
Right.
I don't understand why anybody cares about what anybody's saying and that whole cancel culture thing. How the hell did we get here? We started with Elon Musk and kids being hungry.
Oh, back to Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is a stud. I like Elon. He's a great guy.
And he can't be canceled.
He cannot be canceled because he just refuses.
Remember when he said he wanted to buy Facebook to shut Facebook down? That was the ult, because I didn't realize he literally could buy Facebook with what he made on that Hertz deal 30 times over.
Right.
Wouldn't give a care about it, shut it down. It would be hilarious to say. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, you got to love a guy who names his cars sexy.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to love that. And then, like, every time he shows a rocket, it's clearly a phallic symbol.
Yeah.
I love this guy. He's just.
Did you see the tweet when they announced that, when Bezos announced, so Elon Musk and they've been going back and forth of who's the number one person in the universe. We literally should say universe, not the world.
Okay.
And Bezos puts out a tweet about all the things they're doing at Amazon, and underneath it, there was a little gold star that said number 2, like a ribbon, meaning you're still number 2. I mean, the guy literally makes time to chat upon these other people, and then he goes back to making rockets. It's the best.
Well, it's just he's just not. He doesn't take it all that seriously. He takes it seriously enough, but he doesn't take it too seriously. And I think that one of the problems with a lot of elites is a lot of people who are elites or consider themselves to be elites is they take themselves way too freaking seriously. And it's kind of refreshing to see somebody like Elon. And I'm not sure that I necessarily agree with everything he says or does, but it's clear that he's got a pretty good perspective on things.
Right.
He's not so balled up in his world and his culture that he doesn't understand that there's a whole different universe of things going on. I mean, he seems to be more in touch.
I just like him because, again, we used to appreciate people that were visionaries, the Henry Fords, the Walt Disney, all
Right.
that. The culture now doesn't. I think we look at it and we say, "Oh, these people are so talented." Like what Nate does, I think is fantastic, and we don't even tap into all the things he can do. But I think when you look at it and you go, "Oh, I know 9 other people."
Well, we're kind of pathetic. So
that's what I'm saying.
He
This
can
is
only
not
do
watchable.
so much with this.
This is not watchable. This is not listenable. Like they should have played this in Afghanistan to drive the Taliban out, but just on a loop. But what I'm saying is, I think that so many people can create things now with their phone and all that, but they're just recreating something they've already seen. Whereas a Walt Disney, like when you look at that guy and like he created something that everybody else envied, so then they had something to strive for. I don't think we have people that are leading. Like, I don't want to own Whole Foods. I couldn't care less about it. Shipping and packaging, I didn't care. Bezos did. Mm-hmm. But you don't have anybody that says, I'm going to go beat him at this, right? I want to compete with him. And that's the problem is if you can't compete, you're just on the conveyor belt of life doing the same old shit as everybody else.
Right. And, one of the things that I heard somebody say one time that people who criticize are usually only criticizing because you're accomplishing something. So if you're accomplishing nothing, people won't criticize you.
Right.
But if you're accomplishing a lot, then the people who aren't accomplishing anything will criticize you. And it's one of the things I look at, like Elon Musk. He's pioneered nobody's been able to make electric cars that were actually viable on the market before. He's kind of doing that,
and he's made other people do it too.
Right. And but all you hear when you hear news or when he's reported on, it's all, well, another Tesla crashed while it was, self-driving. Well, what kind of idiot goes to sleep? Anyway, you can't go to sleep while your car's. I don't care how good it is.
My car's not electric, and I fall asleep in it all the time.
Well, that's different when you're passing out. You stumble out of the bar, but I just think there's a lot of criticism of him, and he really just kind of stays above it. He just kind of like, I'm not worried about that. I'm doing my thing. I know. I mean, it's kind of like he's grounded. He knows who he is. He knows what he's about, and he's not worried about all that stuff.
It's like you're describing me. Thank you, Stan. That's going to be it because we never answered if he should give the money or not. And I say, no, don't give that. Just because as an entrepreneur, you should keep that money. Stan, yes, no? Thank you for agreeing with me.
I'd have to see what the money is
here we go.
about. You know?
This is what I'm talking about. This is why if I had the law case, we're wrapping it up quick. And you're like, I got to read things.
He could give it to me instead and let me decide what to do.
Well, the three of us wouldn't be hungry after that. You solved world hunger for the people in this room.
I'd give you $1.
God bless you. God bless you. This has been Objections with Stan Willis. Thank you, Elon Musk, for this show. Goodbye.